What do Facebook's new changes mean for your voiceover business? Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mark Scott and thanks for checking out another voiceover tip. So maybe you've been following along with the news or maybe you hadn't heard it yet. But yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, released a statement on his personal Facebook page. Now, his New Year's resolution was that he was going to make changes to Facebook to make it better. That was something that he posted at the beginning of the year, and it looks like last night he announced the first step that he is taking towards doing that. And this step that he's taking is potentially going to spell the end of organic reach for Facebook business pages. So if you have a Facebook business page for your voiceover business, you are absolutely going to be impacted by this change. I've got Zuck's statement here. I want to read a couple of things from it, just in case you hadn't heard about it yet. So it says, but recently we've gotten feedback from our community that public content, i.e., posts from businesses, brands, and media, is crowding out the personal moments that lead us to connect more with each other. It's easy to understand how we've got here. Video and other public content have exploded on Facebook in the past couple of years. Now, there's a couple of interesting points in there. First of all, the reason why video exploded on Facebook is because Facebook wanted video to explode. They encouraged content creators to make video. One of the reasons that you may have noticed a couple of years ago, I stopped posting YouTube videos on Facebook and started uploading my videos directly to Facebook is because Facebook told us to do it. They wanted video content to grow. So we've done what they asked by helping them become a major platform for video, and now they're trying to backpedal on that and shut it down a little bit, which I personally find kind of interesting. The other thing to note here is that Facebook says that the platform is supposed to be all about engagement with the content that we want to engage with, and they're really focusing on family and friends. Of course, my argument to that is, if you didn't want to engage with brands on Facebook, then don't like and follow their pages. It's really that simple, or it should be, but for Facebook, not so much. And this is why I think they've got ulterior motives. Now, further on down the statement, it says, we feel a responsibility to make sure our services aren't just fun to use, but are also good for people's well-being. So we've studied this trend carefully by looking at the academic research and doing our own research with leading experts at universities. The research shows that when we use social media to connect with people we care about, it can be good for our well-being. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news in the last couple of weeks talking about the dangers of social media and how it's having an impact on our brains, how it's having an impact on how we connect with people. And so Facebook is positioning itself to be our saviors. So they're going to come in and they're going to make the news feeds better for us so that we don't hurt our brains. Or at least that's what it sounds like they're trying to say to me. And so in order for them to do that, they claim that they've got to get the businesses, the brands, all of that other content out and just focus on giving you content from your friends and your family, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But again, this tends to lead me to think that Facebook has ulterior motives. A little bit further down in the statement, and this is where it starts to get into specifically what's going to happen to pages, you can expect to see more from your friends and family in groups. So if you've got friends, you've got family, or if you're members of Facebook groups, you'll continue to see that content in your newsfeed. However, as we roll this out, you'll see less public content like posts from businesses, brands, and media. And the public content you see will be held to the same standard. It should encourage meaningful interactions between people. So in other words, Facebook is going to alter the newsfeed so that you see content from family, from friends, and from groups, but they're going to limit the amount of content that you see from businesses. Even if you've intentionally made a decision to like those business pages, Facebook is still going to limit that content. They say it's for our well-being, but let's be honest. The real reason they're doing it is because they want to drive paid advertising. Now, here's where it becomes a problem for you and your voiceover business. I don't know about you, but I don't have a budget to compete with Coca-Cola or with Pepsi or with Nike or with other major brands that are currently advertising on Facebook. The whole purpose of this, Facebook says, is to declutter the newsfeed, and they say that there is less real estate in the newsfeed for this type of content. Well, put two and two together. If they're stating up front that there's less room in the newsfeed for this type of content, that means that they're forcing us to do paid reach because we're not going to get organic reach anymore. So we have to do sponsored posts, except the price of sponsored posts, in my opinion, is probably going to go up Because if there's less real estate for it, it's a supply and demand question. And I don't have the budget to compete with some of these major brands that are advertising on Facebook. So really at the end of the day, I think the whole entire thing is not so much about Facebook trying to be our savior as it is Facebook trying to drive revenues. The irony of it is that today, the day after the announcement was made, Facebook's stock prices dropped because who are the shareholders? These major corporations who now see, hey, wait a minute, Facebook is taking away our ability to reach out to the audience through marketing. So it's kind of ironic how it works. So how does this directly affect you and your voiceover business? Well, there are a couple of things that you're going to want to do. If you have a business page for Facebook that you currently use for your voiceover business, there are a couple of key strategies here. First and foremost, Facebook has made it very clear that they are looking for content that people can engage with. So gone are the days when you can simply link to your blog post and use it as a tool to drive traffic to your blog. That's not going to work anymore. So before you post content on your Facebook business page, ask yourself whether or not this is something that people would want to engage with, that they can engage with. Does it have the ability to start a conversation? If it doesn't, either don't post it or find a way to rewrite the content in a way that makes it easier for people to engage with. That is going to help to get you a little bit more organic reach in the newsfeed. And when I say a little bit more, I have something like 1,200 likes on my Facebook page, and currently my organic reach for about the last 3 months has been about 1% of my audience. So, less than 10 people are seeing the content that I'm sharing on Facebook. It's really, really hard to get organic reach these days. But if you're going to try to get any, that's the first strategy. Make sure that you are creating engaging content. The second strategy, it used to be that you posted multiple times a day on your Facebook page. The more times that you posted, the more likely you were to get into the newsfeed. But according to what Facebook is doing now, it may actually have the reverse effect. So you're going to want to make fewer posts on your page, but you're going to want to make better, more engaging posts. So that has absolutely got to be part of your strategy. The third thing that you want to do is invite and show your audience how to add your page to the top of their feed. There is a setting that they can click on that allows your content, regardless of Facebook rules, to get to the top of their newsfeed. So encourage your audience to do that and show them how to make that possible. And that is going to help you to increase your organic reach. At the end of the day, though, what it really comes down to, if you're going to use Facebook pages for business, you're going to drive people to your page and try to get them to like your page, but if you want to reach them, you're going to have to advertise to them. And you can still do that at this point for relatively reasonable budgets. I use Facebook advertising all the time for both the coaching side of my voiceover business and for the voiceover side of my voiceover business. And I've been able to make it work, and I will continue to adapt because if you don't adapt, you die. And Facebook is simply too big to ignore. So that is how some of these changes are going to impact your voiceover business and impact the way that you use pages. Now, if you are not one that regularly uses Facebook pages, you just don't consistently have the content, then in this case, it might be time to just shut the page down and devote your attention elsewhere, because you're not going to see a whole lot of fruits for your labor unless you are building an audience that you can ultimately advertise to. Sad to say, but that's the world that we live in now, and that is the Facebook world that Mark Zuckerberg is creating for us. Got any questions? Leave it in the comments below because, of course, like we just discussed, you've got to engage. Join into this conversation. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions. And, of course, you can always email Marc at marcscottvoiceover.com. As for the rest of it, don't forget to check out my blog at marcscottcoaching.com, and you can like, follow, and add to the top of your feed my Facebook page at facebook.com/marcscottvoiceover and get connected with me on YouTube as well.